Okay, here's going to be quite a short little movie. What we'd like to do is just introduce a little bit of text into this animation, and when it gets to the point where the owl lands on the branch, I'd like a little bit of text to come in. I think we'll make it come into the right here, and we'll put time to give a hoot to see what I've done there. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, time to give a hoot. So logic says, how do we do that? Well, again, your background one layer, your owl another layer, want some text. I think maybe what we'll do is add this on another layer here, and of course this is the point where the owl meets the branch that we want to actually introduce the text. So I'm going to introduce a little keyframe here, and I'm going to call this one owl text. I think that would make sense, owl text. I'm at frame 60, and what I would like is some text to appear. Now I'm just going to come over here to A, and I'm going to write along here, and I think we'll do it in black text, and you can choose all your font types and stuff here, and you can see which ones they are. I quite like that Berlin Sans FB, nice bold one there. So I'm going to put in there time to give a hoot. Hysterical. Maybe the text is a little bit on the small side. I think we'll just increase the size of that a fraction, and maybe I'd like that text just to be sort of level there. I think that looks quite nice. One of the things you can do with Flash, I'm going to introduce you now to a little effect that you can do, is that I'm just going to right click, and we've got a timeline effects, and we can use this transform transition. I'm going to go to transition, I think we'll choose. And a little wizard comes up and says, what do you want this text to do? Look, at this moment it's going to come in like this, and it's going to lie 30 frames. That's about 3 seconds worth. So that's fantastic. I can, if I don't want the wipe, I can do that and update the preview. And now it says time to give a hoot, and it goes like that. I don't know, what do we think? Do we like that? I think I do. So I'm just going to press OK. And it looks like nothing's happened, but can you see on the animation here that actually it does appear. Now also what you'll notice is that the owl, move and background, there's nothing there. So let's run the animation and see what happens. And here comes the owl, and it disappeared, but time to give a hoot appeared. So that works quite nicely. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to insert a frame, and I'm going to insert a frame on the background here. Okay. Now let's press Control Enter. Let's see what this looks like. Here comes our animation. Here comes a little owl. You can make his wings flap, of course, if you wanted to. Time to give a hoot. So that's one way that you can bring in a little bit of text. Now, what I'm going to do is just close that down for a moment. I think what we'll do now is make the background move down even further. So I want to scroll down so I can roughly see the ground. Now let's think about this logically. We're going to need to actually move the whole thing. So let's go to, how long does it take to get down to the bottom? Let's try with about, if it's roughly 90 there, let's try with about 30, that's about 3 seconds. Let's just put a keyframe here. Can you see the problem there? See how it got rid of that frame? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to convert this to I'm going to make that a keyframe, and then I'm going to come to this point, 120, I'm going to insert another keyframe. And if I control minus a moment, I want the background to move up again. So at this point I actually want this to move down even further. So I'm going to use the same technique as before. I'm just going to move this over to the side so I can see the canvas. We'll move it up, and I think we'll have it around about there, should do the job. And then we'll move that back into position using 0, and we'll press Control Enter and see what happens to our animation. Here comes the owl. Here comes time to give a hoot, question mark. Then the owl disappears, and nothing happened. And the reason why nothing happened was I forgot what to motion tween. But also, whilst we're at it, I don't really want the owl to disappear. So I'm gonna insert a frame there. Oh, yeah, that would do actually. Do I want the owl to move? No, I do want the owl to move. Well, let's just show you what happens first of all before this works, or doesn't work in this particular case. Time to give a hoot. Now the owl and the text is going to disappear. Ah, didn't do it. Egypt. Let's try that motion tween, and I get it right this time. And finally, you'll see, this is the problem with Flash. I'm no Flash expert. Time to give a hoot, but now it should scroll down. So we're coming back down to the ground. And we stop. But the thing is, at this point, after time to give a hoot, the owl just completely goes. Okay? So I'm thinking that what we really need to do is, whoop, didn't mean to do that. Make this a keyframe here as well. I can just convert to a keyframe actually, rather than insert keyframe. And I want the owl to move out with the rest of the tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a keyframe here. Here's my owl. But of course, to make it go out exactly the same space, the owl should always remain on the branch. I'm just going to move the owl and stick it on the branch like that. Create my motion tween. And what should happen now is the owl, all the point in the animation here, remains on the branch because it's moving at the same pace as the background. So now when we control enter, we get something like this. Little owl comes down. Time to give a hoot. That disappears, and then the owl goes out with the branch. I quite like that. I hope you do too. It's time for you to go and have a little go at making something like that yourself. Okay, good luck.